This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. Welcome to the discussion. Today we're diving into a fascinating after-action report from a tabletop exercise simulating an electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, attack on Chicopee, Massachusetts. It's a chilling scenario, but the insights gained are invaluable.
Absolutely. The report highlights the critical need for preparedness, not just at the federal level, but at the local community level as well. The exercise revealed some stark realities about our vulnerabilities.
The report details a dual-world scenario, one with minimal resources and another with some pre-existing EMP resilience measures. The differences in outcomes were striking, weren't they?
Remarkably so. The group with even a small amount of pre-planning and resource allocation fared significantly better, showcasing the power of proactive measures.
It really underscores the importance of investing in preparedness before a disaster strikes rather than reacting afterward. Let's delve into the specifics. The exercise involved 16 critical infrastructure sectors, as identified by CISA. Can you elaborate on the sectors that were prioritized in this exercise?
The exercise focused heavily on communications, defense, emergency services, energy, food and agriculture, local government services, healthcare and public health, information technology, transportation, and water and wastewater. These are all interconnected and vital for community survival.
And the exercise itself was a 3-hour discussion-based event, correct? How did the dual-world approach work?
Yes, it was a 3-hour tabletop exercise. The dual-world approach was ingenious. Group A operated with absolutely no additional resources beyond what currently exists, while Group B had access to some pre-positioned resources like limited EMP, hardened power, and communications. This allowed for a direct comparison of outcomes.
The report emphasizes the near-total failure of standard communication systems in Group A's scenario. What were some of the key takeaways regarding communication?
The immediate breakdown of electronic communication highlighted the critical need for alternative communication plans. Ham radios, CB radios, even runners relaying information became crucial in the absence of cell phones and internet. Pre-designated rally points were also identified as essential.
And what about Group B? Did their pre-staged communications equipment make a significant difference?
Yes, significantly. Group B, with pre-staged radios and public address systems, was able to maintain some level of communication, even if degraded. This allowed for better coordination and response. The exercise showed that even a small investment in hardened communication systems can have a huge impact.
Let's talk about emergency services. How were they impacted in each scenario?
In Group A, emergency services were essentially non-existent in the initial stages due to the communication breakdown and lack of transportation. Group B, however, with some pre-positioned resources and limited power, was able to maintain a minimal level of emergency response.
The report also highlights the importance of energy resilience. What were the key findings in this area?
The availability of even a small percentage of power, thanks to microgrids in Group B, made a world of difference. It allowed for the continued operation of essential services and significantly improved survival rates. The report strongly advocates for investing in microgrids and EMT-hardened power infrastructure.
Food security played a crucial role, didn't it?
Absolutely. The pre-stocked bulk food supplies in Group B, primarily rice and beans, were a lifeline. It kept people from starving, prevented societal breakdown, and allowed essential workers to report to duty. Group A, lacking these supplies, faced widespread starvation and social unrest.
The report suggests long-term food storage solutions. What were some of the recommendations?
The report recommends maintaining at least a year's worth of non-perishable food supplies, exploring options like MREs, and establishing community seed banks to encourage local food production. This is crucial for long-term survival in a prolonged crisis.
How did the exercise illuminate the role of government services and facilities?
The exercise highlighted the need for robust continuity of government plans. The report emphasizes the importance of pre-designated command posts and the potential need for martial law in a prolonged crisis. Coordination between local, state, and federal agencies is also critical.
And what about healthcare? What were the key findings?
The healthcare system's vulnerability was stark. The lack of power and resources in Group A led to a catastrophic healthcare crisis with a significant loss of life. Group B, with limited power and pre-staged supplies, fared much better, but still faced severe limitations. The report stresses the need for EMP-hardened healthcare facilities and pre-positioned medical supplies.
Transportation systems were also severely impacted. What were the key takeaways?
The near-total failure of electronic vehicles in Group A highlighted the need for alternative transportation methods, such as bicycles and even horses. Group B, with some pre-staged spare parts, was able to maintain a limited level of vehicle functionality. Fuel availability became a major limiting factor in both scenarios.
Finally, the report discusses the importance of water and wastewater systems. What were the key findings?
The report emphasizes the need for backup power systems for water treatment and wastewater plants to prevent the spread of disease. Even though CHICOPEE'S water system is gravity-fed, the lack of power to treat the water in Group A led to widespread waterborne illnesses. Group B, with EMP-hardened narrow grids at their water and wastewater plants, fared significantly better.
What were some of the overarching key findings from this exercise?
The exercise demonstrated the critical importance of pre-disaster planning and resource allocation. Even a small amount of preparedness can dramatically improve outcomes. The report emphasizes the need for EMP-hardened infrastructure, alternative communication systems, and long-term food and fuel storage.
The report includes several recommendations for local, state, and federal levels. Can you summarize those?
At the local level, the recommendations include developing comprehensive emergency plans, investing in microgrids and EMP-hardened equipment, and establishing long-term food and fuel storage. At the state and federal levels, the recommendations include implementing executive orders for EMP protection, funding resilient infrastructure, and coordinating planning efforts between DoD facilities and local communities.
The report mentions several unmet needs. What are some of the most pressing?
The most pressing unmet needs include the lack of EMP-hardened infrastructure, insufficient long-term food and fuel storage, and the absence of comprehensive emergency communication plans. Addressing these needs is crucial for improving community resilience.
The report highlights the collaboration between Chicopee and Westover Air Reserve Base. How important was this partnership?
The partnership was absolutely vital. The exercise demonstrated the importance of collaboration between military installations and local communities in disaster response. Sharing resources and expertise is essential for effective emergency management.
The report paints a grim picture of a prolonged crisis. What are some of the long-term implications of an EMP attack?
A prolonged crisis would lead to widespread societal disruption, significant loss of life, and long-term economic damage. The report highlights the need for long-term planning and resource management to ensure community survival and recovery.
The report mentions the need for community resilience. How can communities build this resilience?
Communities can build resilience by investing in infrastructure, developing comprehensive emergency plans, fostering community collaboration, and educating citizens about disaster preparedness. Individual preparedness is also crucial.
What are some of the key lessons learned from this exercise?
The exercise underscored the critical importance of proactive planning and resource allocation. It highlighted the interconnectedness of critical infrastructure sectors and the need for robust communication systems. The exercise also demonstrated the value of collaboration between different agencies and levels of government.
The report mentions the use of dual-world scenarios. What is the value of this approach?
The dual-world approach allowed for a direct comparison of outcomes with and without pre-existing resilience measures. This provided valuable insights into the effectiveness of different preparedness strategies. It clearly demonstrated the significant benefits of proactive planning.
What steps can be taken to improve future preparedness for an EMP event?
Improving future preparedness requires a multifaceted approach, including investing in EMP-hardened infrastructure, developing comprehensive emergency plans, establishing long-term food and fuel storage, and educating citizens about disaster preparedness. Regular drills and exercises are also crucial.
The report mentions several resources and technologies. Can you highlight some of the most important ones?
Microgrids, nanogrids, alternative communication systems like ham radios, and pre-positioned supplies of food, water, and fuel are all crucial resources. EMP-hardened equipment is also essential for protecting critical infrastructure. Ultimately, this exercise serves as a stark reminder of our vulnerabilities and the critical need for proactive disaster preparedness. The findings highlight the importance of investing in resilience before a crisis strikes.
That's a great discussion. Thank you for sharing your expertise.